Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Hollywood After Dark. Today is April 4th, 2022. Tonight we're going to be talking about a new phenomenon, maybe a new threat to toxicity. I don't know. The Snyder cult might actually be real if you believe it. Who knows? Amy Schumer reveals the joke the Oscars didn't want her to tell. Bob's Burgers gets a new trailer, and oh boy, am I hungry for it. And Sony absolutely cannot run franchises. We're going to be talking about all of that tonight, here and more. Hollywood After Dark, folks. Let's fucking go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. Hope everyone out there is having a fantastic, glorious day. My day has been very fascinating, to be honest with you guys. I'll tell you guys why. So I'm trying to get, I'm going out of town in a couple months, right? Finally going on vacation for a first time in a long time, taking the family. We're going to go out, have ourselves a nice little trip. But of course, in order to do that, we have to get passports, right? We have to get passports because we're traveling internationally. It's Canada, but you know. So we're going to go out, we're going to get passports. So we decide today to sit down and save ourselves a little bit of money, save ourselves a little bit of green by photographing, ourselves. All right, my girlfriend and I, we're both avid photographers, okay? Like we can light it, we can make it work for us. That's not a problem. But when you have a 4-year-old and you have a 2-year-old, oh my God, that was my morning. And my afternoon, that took all day. That took all day. It wiped me out in ways I never thought possible. But the challenge has been completed. The task is done. And then, of course, now we just go through the application process. But at least on that particular front, we find ourselves at least completing that particular hurdle. And it's just one more thing off of our plate until we get to finally go on vacation in just a couple months. And again, I'm very excited for this. I'm very happy to finally be getting out of town, going back to Alaska. I cannot wait to do that. It's going to be a great time. However, like I said, tonight we are going to be talking about a couple of things. And one of them here is this image you're seeing on the screen. It's very odd. I don't quite know what to make of it, to be honest with you. It's weird, but it's kind of real in regards to it exists. And that, of course, is the Snyder stuff. So why don't we dive in? Let me just get the shilling out of the way. You guys know the drill. Podio Commentary, youtube.com/Podio Commentary. Find it on podcast at Google, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor. It's there. Here on YouTube, youtube.com/Podio Commentary, where I review movies. I talk about them, mostly just kind of discuss the films. This week, Sonic. Next week, Sonic 2. Then I might go into some collections after that, right? Either it's actor, it's franchise, it's director. We'll start discussing it more on the community tab here on the channel to get an idea for what you guys are into and what you're watching, so we can then go into these particular situations together as a way to kind of expand out that particular thing. So that's youtube.com/Podio, Podio commentary. Be sure to check that out. And also, if you guys like what I do here, you like this show, you like the video clips I post out, if you find it to be funny or entertaining or interesting or enlightening or downright crazy, zany or weird, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. Great way to do that. Great way to help out. Great way to support the channel. And when you do that or become a channel member, you guys become part of the elite, right? Part of the Hollywood After Dark Premium Club. My God, right? Who knew? Who knew? Hollywood After Dark Premium. Great benefit. Because what you get is you get an exclusive after show, Hollywood After Dark, After Dark. I know it's witty. It's unique. It's like the Late Late Show. I was going to do one tonight. I'm not feeling the greatest because of this whole stress from today with the kids. So we'll be doing it tomorrow night. We'll be watching a fan film or two. And then one of the members has been requesting this like top 5 or top 25 Marvel deaths video. Maybe we'll take a look at that. But that's where we're going to watch some of these other videos. We just have like a low-key chill hangout. Nothing planned, really. But that's Hollywood After Dark. After Dark, become a channel member. It is a great way to help support the channel when you do that. But all right, guys. We also have a call-in line. Call-in line, 323-305-4101. I didn't get the voicemails last night. I'll get to a couple of them tonight. 323-301 or 305-4101. Be sure to call in 30 seconds or less. Have a topic, have a point, speak clearly, because sometimes self-technology, it's the weirdest thing, by the way. I want to complain about this for a hot second. It's 2022. And yet still, I feel cell phone technology in regards to connection and microphone volume is still very much in the shitter. You know what I mean? Like voice over internet stuff, VoIP is going to be the future. Honestly, I don't see like these companies lasting a lot longer in regards to just being telecom. It's going to probably only be Wi-Fi and things like that, 5G, 6G, 8G, whatever. I don't know, but 323-305-4101. I want to hear your thoughts. Ask your questions. You can do it there. Anyway, why don't we talk about tonight's stuff here? Okay. Why don't we quickly say a quick chit chat with the chat here. Say hi. I haven't done that yet. Brandon, what's up? Reed, how's it going? Tales from the Hood. Spherical Man, Miguel. I see. Let's see. Patrick. We got Rhea. How's it going, Rhea? We're going to be talking about Rhea here in a second, but it's really funny. It is really funny. I see Geek Studio. I see Darkness Under the Wind. Comic Book Nostalgia. What's up, buddy? How's your channel getting towards them 25,000 subs? Have you been able to? I haven't checked in a little bit. I'm sorry. I know you were getting ready to give away a PlayStation V. If you hit that 25K, just kind of curious how that's going with you. Let me know about that one there. All right, I see Music Man. I see Planet Mars 2030. Anthony Beltray, how's it going? Anthony, aren't you over on another stream right now? I'm pretty sure I saw you on another stream. I see Shiny. I see Mr. T. SARS. For you guys here. All right, cool. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Carlos Green. What's up, Jess? Benson says here 6 a.m. Made it. That's right, buddy. You did make it. That's so early for you. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not an early riser myself. I mean, well, okay, I'm an early riser in certain ways. But not when it comes to being awake. Well, only one part. I'm not going to go into it. All right. It is Hollywood After Dark. Obviously we do get a little adult oriented here. It gets a little 18 plus, right? You know, we have those kind of conversations. This ain't church. This ain't a sermon. I'm not here preaching the everlasting life. I'm preaching debauchery. I'm preaching masturbation. I'm preaching premarital sex. I'm preaching whatever makes you feel good that doesn't harm anybody else. If you want to fire off knuckle children, by all means, you do it where you want to do it, provided no one else can see you. And quite frankly, you shut the fuck up wherever you do it. You know what I mean? I don't care. Anyway, let's dive in. So I'm in a little bit of hot water today. I'm in a little bit of hot water for this particular tweet I put out, this tweet earlier this afternoon, where I said, I'm so tired of Mad Max movies and his bullshit. Now, this got me a lot of heat in my DMs. This got me a lot of shit in my DMs because people were like, oh my God, you're doxing Mad Max the Mandalorian. How could you do it? How could you dox him? What is going on? Please delete this. I mean, a whole bunch of messages I got from people, right? It really triggered a whole bunch of people. And that's okay, right? That's okay. I didn't think the joke would be that bad, to be fair. However, a lot of people out there, I don't think realize who this person is, who this actor is, and the context of the joke. Now, if you happen to be a fan of this show, we've talked a lot about Bob's Burgers. And I've made the joke before that Mad Max the Mandalorian looks quite a bit like Gene from the show, which Eugene Merman is the voice actor for Gene. This is Eugene Merman at the Bob's Burgers WonderCon booth from this weekend. And so it was very much a really funny scenario because like people were really legitimately mad at me over it. And it was just like, it was a shit post. So let me just quickly point out, do I know who Mad Max is? Yes. Have I seen what he looks like? Absolutely. Do I have his phone number? Yes, I do. Would I ever dox Max? No, I would not. I've been doxed. I don't like the feeling of it. Mad Max, as much as I would like for him to take off his mask and I would like for him to be open, I will never dox him, nor would I ever entertain the concept of doxing him because I don't think that's fair. He wants his privacy. He can have it. I was just making a joke. It's a bit of a meme. It's a bit of an in thing, but I thought it was still funny nonetheless. the less, because it's just, again, people got really, really, really mad at this. And then everyone was like, delete this. And I just kept responding with more pictures of Eugene Merman. I just kept responding with more of those images, hoping someone would eventually get the joke. And thankfully somebody did. So that to me was okay. I thought it was kind of funny. At first I'm like, oh shit, like I really fucked up, man. Like people are really mad at me. And then I'm like, no, I was like, if you know the meme, then you know the meme. It's okay, right? If you know the meme, then you know the meme, then you know the meme. It's all right. But now more people are going to know the meme, and I think it's pretty funny. So of course there's that. But then not only that, we did get this piece of information today. And that, of course, is that Chris Hemsworth has announced that they have begun the press tour for Thor, Love, and Thunder. And the funny thing about that is this movie comes out in July, and we absolutely still have not seen one piece of promotional photography, one piece of evidence that this movie exists outside of numerous, and I mean like hundreds of behind the scenes shots from not only Sydney, but Los Angeles, of not only the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, but Chris Hemsworth himself, Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. This movie exists. And if Chris Hemsworth is saying that they're just getting ready to start the press tour, for one, yesterday we talked about how Extraction 2 had just wrapped filming after 5 months. So now that Extraction 2 is done, Chris Hemsworth can start pimping this movie. So that means we're going to get a trailer here in the next couple of weeks. Oh yeah, what comes out in the next couple of weeks? Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Tickets for that go on sale here, I want to say on Friday or Thursday or Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's Monday, I think, right? But the idea here, though, is that we are going to start getting something for this. We're probably going to get the trailer reveal in front of Doctor Strange, and that will officially kick off the marketing campaign for Thor, Love and Thunder, which is weird to think that it's been but by the time Thor, Love and Thunder comes out, it will have been 3 years since it was initially announced, which is one of those weird things to think about. Where it's officially announced at Comic-Con 2019. And I don't know about you, but I'm not looking forward to all of the misogynistic ass bags that are going to be coming out and freaking out about, oh my God, the 90-pound Natalie Portman can take on the 250-pound Chris Hemsworth. It doesn't make, all that crap. Forgetting that it's in fact, a movie. It's a movie. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's something that's fun. Real quick, though, we do have a super chat here from Benson's £2. Thanks, buddy. Saying here, you can't trust opinions hidden behind a mask. No, all things considered, this is the internet. And so, these are just people's opinions, and trusting them is one thing. I don't know. I mean, it really does. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So not only that, let's move on here. So Amy Schumer, right? Because I had to throw her up on the thumbnail. I'm not a big Amy Schumer fan. I've been very honest, very open about this. I do not like Amy Schumer. I do not think she is funny. I think she's a pretty abhorrent person. And this is, and I like dark humor, but there are times when, maybe, going too far. I don't know. And I've been accused of going too far. Now, but she reveals here that there is one joke she wasn't allowed to say at the Oscars. And this was it. She says, "Don't Look Up" is the name of a movie. More like "Don't Look Down the Barrel of Alec Baldwin's Shotgun." I wasn't allowed to say any of that, but you can just come up and slap someone. Oh, poor Amy Schumer. Poor Amy Schumer. Listen, that's not a funny joke. There's, like the woman who died from the accidental shooting works in the industry. The woman who died in the accidental shooting, that was recent. That was only a few months ago. And, Don't Look Up is about climate change. And Don't Look Down the Barrel of Alec Baldwin's Shotgun. It doesn't make any sense. For one, he used it was a pistol. So it wasn't a shotgun. I mean, just we're talking, like for technicality purpose, right? And then two, it's just like it's an uncouth joke. But she then's like, but you can go and slap somebody or whatever, right? I mean, obviously, Amy Schumer, she's come out and she's also said things like, "I'm traumatized after Will Smith slapped somebody. I'm upset. I have to take time off." I think she might have mentioned she needs to go see a therapist. I don't know how much of this was done and with hyperbole. I don't know how much of this was done to just try to like sell a narrative, whether it's like, She's got that Hulu show, Life After Beth, with Michael Cera with the worst beard I've ever seen on a human male ever. And I like Michael Cera, but Michael Cera with facial hair just looks creepy. All right. It's like me without facial hair. Looks creepy. Him, it's sometimes that can happen. But that being said, fuck Amy Schumer. I don't think anyone out there really supports Amy Schumer. Ronaldo here says, okay, that's a really bad joke. Very offensive. Spherical Man here says, can they ban Amy from the Oscars for life? That'd be kind of funny. Rhea here says, Amy Schumer and Melissa McCarthy should make a Thunder Force sequel. We got Mad Max the Mandalorian. What's going on, Eugene? Hope you're having a good night, man. I don't know. Look, I'm not an Amy Schumer fan. I'm not an Amy Schumer buff whatsoever. The way I look at Amy Schumer is with nothing but contempt. Just everything about her is terrible in my opinion. However, with any luck, she won't be back to host the Oscars. So there's definitely that. Real quick here before we move on, Rational here asks opinion on Elon Musk being majority shareholder of Twitter. Will he change the platform? Okay, so it's kind of off topic, but for movies and stuff, but it does kind of tie in to where, just, I guess you could say like pop culture, because in many ways, Twitter is where a lot of this stuff breaks. It's where a lot of the conversation is. Elon Musk himself has said that Twitter is like the public square, and he wants more freedom of speech, and he wants less like bannings and things like that. I think by purchasing the 9.84% of Twitter does make him a majority shareholder, more so than Jack Dorsey, who only has 2.28% or something like that. Holy crap, dude. But here's the thing though. It's actually smart on Elon Musk's part to go in and to buy this, to do it like this, instead of investing the money into his own platform. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because this platform is already here. This platform is publicly traded. This platform can be purchased in this particular way, and there's no startup cost, and you have the chance to wield a considerable influence. And I don't know what's going to happen. He made a comment today. Would you guys like to see an edit button? He'll just if anything, he's going to probably drag Twitter into crypto, maybe by making Dogecoin the number one crypto of Twitter. I don't know. He'll, listen, all I'm hoping for, and this is a selfish thing, and I'll fully admit this, and someone will use this against me down the road as they have in the past. I just want to be fucking verified. There have been fake accounts made of me, so I'd like to be verified. And right now, Twitter won't verify me. And I think they won't verify me because of Gamergate, to be honest with you, because of the old Trust and Safety Council. Never mind, there has been many articles written about me in a multitude of different publications, ranging from the Los Angeles Times all the way to Russia Today. It's been a little bit weird. I popped up in different facets of the internet and different facets of actual print media before. That was funny when I was interviewed by the LA Times, and it ended up going down, being reprinted in San Diego Union Tribune. And I started getting phone calls from people I know in San Diego that are like, why are we reading about you in the paper? And I'm all like, well, do you have to ask that question? And they're like, no, we don't. So we'll have to wait and see what will happen. What's going to happen with this? I don't quite know. We'll if he's going to be able to wield that kind of power, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping for betterment of Twitter. I'm hoping for a better, more advanced platform that allows for more connectivity. What I would really like, and this again is just kind of an old thing, and this is just me, I would really like it if we could go back and emulate Google Plus. I know what you're thinking. The fuck? What do you mean Google Plus? That was 2013. What the fuck? So Google Plus, here's why I want Google Plus to be a thing. Okay. I want them to come back and take one element from Google Plus, which I think did better than literally everybody else. On Google Plus back in the day, you could create circles, and those circles were like communities. You could add people to those communities. Now, here's the thing is they wouldn't know they were added to a community really, but they would follow you. And then you would kind of it's kind of like Twitter lists, but essentially you could post and just go, I only want people in these lists or in this community to see what I'm posting. That way, it doesn't go out into the public. It doesn't really go out into the public space unless you want it to. It allows for community building to happen. It allows for that kind of stuff. Now, they do have the new Twitter communities, which allow you to kind of post some stuff that's like you can have people in a community for a niche topic, and that's considered a public post, but no one can interact with it that isn't in a community. So that's an interesting way of going about it, and it's something that they're rolling out. I will say this, though, when it comes to the whole Spaces needs an absolute upgrade in regards to audio quality and the recordings and everything else. However, I will say that Spaces was created as a way to challenge Clubhouse, which is blowing up in the audio, party line chat room sort of space. And as a result of that, it definitely ended up getting in, it's now outperformed Clubhouse. I mean, there's also a lot more people who use Twitter, but in Clubhouse, a lot of it's NFTs or like lifestyle or business. Twitter's a lot of that as well, but we've had some interesting conversations about movies and other pop culture topics on there. And so I think it's a very interesting thing to invest into. That's what I'd like to see in regards to Elon Musk. So, yes, King of Golden State. I said it. I said Google Plus, right? I said Google Plus. HBarts here says, bring back Google Hangouts. Those were great. Well, to be fair, HBarts, StreamYard is essentially that at this, it's that at this point. Tomorrow, Elon Musk will blue check you. That would be great. I would take it. That would be great. I would take it 100%. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people who are blue check marks are kind of fundamentally assholes. And it's not that I want one to be an excuse to be more of an asshole than I am. It's just, I would like to be, I'm verified on YouTube. I'd like to be verified on Twitter. My goal is to get verified, in multiple different places. So people know that it's me. And, it makes me feel a little self-important. What can I say? What can I say, guys? This is who the hell I am. Anyway, another thing that happened today is we did get the new trailer for Bob's Burgers. And I saw people asking me about that. I saw people wanting to know my thoughts and my opinions on Bob's Burgers. And I'll tell you guys, I've watched the trailer a few times already, and we can definitely watch it right now.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Dad, I don't want to stop your flow, but can you pass the peel off?
Oh, God.
That's butter. You know what? Butter's better.
You have 7 days to make your payment.
7?
It's gonna be okay, Bob. Happy, hopeful, kissy lips.
Stop, please.
Oh!
Oh, my God.
Louise, don't go down there. It's dangerous.
Ah!
Did you mean to wave your arms all over the place while falling into the hole? Because if so, you nailed it.
Yes, it all went great.
Is this the police? I'd like to report a thing happened.
What do we do? Ideas, go.
Ooh, what's this thing?
No.
I'm so nervous.
I know. Can you believe it?
Ta-da! Oh, no.
This is getting awkward.
Son of a butt!
That feels nice.
I know.
Don't rub my sesame seeds off.
I won't. Don't worry.
They're a cute couple.
I give him a year.
So the Bob's Burgers movie, I'm excited for this, by the way. So it comes out at the end of next month on Memorial Day, or right after Memorial Day, I think. And the thing with this movie is it should have been out 2 years ago. But after the pandemic and the acquisition and everything else, it is finally coming. We are looking at all this stuff. And I have to say, I'm really excited to see where this movie goes. I don't know anything about it. There's a couple of thoughts that I've got, though. For one, obviously, the plot of the film is going to probably boil down to Bob only having 7 days to pay the mortgage or pay something on his loan or whatever with the bank. Because we've seen that bank teller before. He was in season 2 with the Mickey robbing the bank episode. And then there's a sinkhole in front of the store, or in front of the burger restaurant. Okay, well, there's another episode where there's a sinkhole that they have to actually lure an old mechanical shark from a Jaws knockoff, and they buried it underneath the restaurant. Like they, so if a sinkhole appears and it's in front of the restaurant, where is that shark? That's my question. Did they pull it out? Did they bury it in? Hopefully they reference it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of self-referential aspects to this movie that I'm very excited to see. I have, again, as I pointed out, I'm on like probably my 5th or 6th rewatch of the franchise, of the 12 seasons. My family, we watch it over dinner every single night. It's kind of our go-to. Even tonight, watch like 3-4 episodes and whatnot from this last season. It's a great show. I will say though, one of the things I noticed, and I love that this was brought up on Twitter, was someone had posted this in response, and they were like, cartoon movie. And it's that unnecessary shadowing, right? So unnecessary, did you guys notice it in the movie? Like in the trailer, it looked, some of the establishing stuff looked like it was CG or it was computer. It just looked different. And obviously they're flexing a larger budget. Obviously they're doing all this kind of stuff with this. I get that. But the reality though, is it's like, come on, we don't necessarily need to have all these extra shadows. It's the show doesn't have it. Why does the movie have it? It's kind of dumb. The Simpsons movie did it. Rugrats movie did it. A lot of other things have done it. And it's just feels, look at this here. Right? Look at Wonder Dwarf has been redesigned. I mean, everything has been relatively redesigned for the movie, and it just looks kind of unrealistic to me. And I know it's an animated movie. I get that. So it's all meant to be unrealistic. But the point I'm trying to make ultimately is that it comes across as just being, I don't know. It's not what it's for, sure, it's for normie audiences and whatever, but it's like the show has a certain look. It doesn't need to do it. Now, Spherical Man here says they have to justify the budget. That's true. HBAR says SpongeBob did it. King of Golden State here says those shadows go all the way back to the Transformers, the movie. Lord Slick here asks, where is the Family Guy movie? That would be the Stewie Griffin, the Untold Stewie Griffin story, whatever the hell it was called, from the fall of 2006, which is actually where I pulled the term fire off knuckle children from, by the way. So yeah, you can go back and watch that one, right? Rhea here says the shadows feel overdone, but I wonder if it's going to be a parody of that trope. I don't think so, to be honest with you, Rhea. I really don't. I think it's going to be, this is just what they're going for, okay, fine. I mean, look, but here we give you guys an idea of what's going to be happening. Look at the burger of the day. Between a Brock and a Charred Place burger, meaning that something is going on with the restaurant. Something is going on that Bob needs money for because he's clearly freaking out and he's over cleaning the grill. So, and you've got Mort right there. So that's going to be cool to see. I like Mort. And then Linda's trying to make him feel better. Obviously, this is them looking out of their living room down under the street. So we don't know what's going on down over there. Then we can, see the sinkhole comes back up. Obviously, the retail space, that particular unit has been there. Never been rented for longer than an episode. The It's Your Funeral Home and Crematorium. I wonder if across the street next to Jimmy Pesto's, if they are going to showcase the Pedophile, which is the flower shop that's in the back. They've never gone, I don't believe they've ever gone into that restaurant outside of maybe, not restaurant, but that shop, outside of maybe the Valentine's Day episode where Bob needed the 250 carnations. I don't know if they've gone in there past that or not, or even if they went in there, but you can see it pop up occasionally in the back. It's really funny. So clearly Louise, all right, this is right there in front of where that shark would have gone in. She's trying to go down to check it out. So something's going on down here, right? Something's going on. We don't know, so then it's going to put them on a mission. That's what I think is going to happen. It's going to put them on a mission. And they're going to, the kids are going to be trying to solve some mystery, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the show, those mysteries are quite frankly the best. Those are like the best episodes of the show. You know what I mean? Like those particular mysteries are always where it becomes very fun. And those are the ones that I'm looking forward to, and the ones that I'm really hoping we get to see a fair amount more of. So we'll have to see which movies they parody. But the vibe I get out of this, as weird as it is, the vibe I'm getting is it feels kind of like X-Files the movie. As weird as that is, that's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know why. Then we see Louise and Jean. They're in the woods somewhere doing something. Jean is on stage. There's Peter Pescadero in the background. Why do I know all their names? I've seen the show a lot. There's so they're all watching something on TV. Who knows? I like that they still have Big Bob's Diner back there. Hope they bring in his dad, and I hope Bill Hader voices him. This is something. Okay, so they're going to torch the wharf. The wharf is going to get destroyed, I think. That's what's going to be the big crescendo. All right, so obviously, if Louise is here talking to these guys, I forget their names. She's in a fever dream, or she's dreaming. This is a dream sequence. Okay, so this is them, and they are clearly at the wharf on some slide. So they're keeping it very local, right? Very local to what's going to be happening. So so that whatever's going to go on so they're chasing Linda, doing something or another. Clearly, Tina is imagining Jimmy Jr. not wearing any pants. That seems about pretty accurate for her. I have to say though, for that show, what I love about the show is that the fact that like Tina is unapologetically horny, and like she is, and so is Linda, and it's not even an issue for it all for the show. Period. I think it's very fascinating to see how they get away with some of the stuff in the show. Of course, Linda doing the burger suit. She's modifying Jean's suit. And whatever's going on over here, don't quite know. Okay, there's Zeke, my boy Zeke, wrestling, of course, wrestling Jeju. And, who knows what's going to be going on. I don't know. Yeah, there's a robot, an alien thing sort of thing happening. Clearly, there's Teddy making an appearance. So who knows? And then Bob talking to Meat. By the way, though, see, this is a breakfast burger. If you know the show, they don't do breakfast. All right. They open at noon and they go from like noon until 7 or 8 p.m. at night. They don't do breakfast. The only time they've done breakfast is when they started selling booze illegally. They started running their own little speakeasy, and Hugo, the health inspector, caught them, and they said that they were baking bread for breakfast, and then they had to open up at 6 a.m. in order to sell it to Hugo, even though that they were lying. And so that's the only time that they've ever sold breakfast in the show. So if he's making a breakfast burger there, I don't quite know what's going on, but I'm not going to lie. Cheese, bacon, egg, burger, man, that's making me hungry right now. I'm very excited for this. Anyway, like I said, I could go off about the show. I can't even freaking tell you guys like how much I could go off about this freaking show. That is, if you know me, I love this stuff. And, I always talk very highly of Bob's Burgers because it really is just an amazing show. It's very funny. It's very, fresh. The show accepts people for who they are. You know what I mean? Like they very much accept people, and they don't really shame anyone. They try to it's more positive in a number of ways. It's definitely one of those things where you're like, yeah, you can sit back, you can binge a whole bunch of episodes, and in no way does it feel like it's cynical or that it's like talking down to you or anything like that. And so as a result, I just cannot speak highly enough of Bob's Burgers. It's one that I just freaking love. Speaking of things that I love, this popped up today. This absolutely popped up today. Return to Monkey Island was announced. Holy shit, you guys. Return to Monkey Island was announced. This is the little teaser they put out.
Gilbert told me he'd never make another Monkey Island unless
All right. For those of you who don't know what Monkey Island is an old game franchise that was out by LucasArts back in the early 90s. I think the very first game came out. I think it was Escape from Monkey Island was the first one, and that one was 1990. And then they did the second one, which was LeChuck's Revenge. I want to say 92. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's a fantastic old LucasArts game franchise. It utilized the Scum engine. It was a point and click adventure. If you don't know about the Scum engine, it is a wonderful, well-loved old school game engine for like story-based point and click adventures. You're talking like Escape from Monkey Island or Escape from Monkey Island, those Monkey Island games. You had Maniac Mansion. There was Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which if I had my way, if I had a magic wand and I could convince Kathleen Kennedy to greenlight any fucking Indiana Jones property for an adaptation, it would absolutely positively be Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. It's an amazing game, and it's such a good freaking story. The thing is, though, see, because this is the thing, like Music Man asks, what is Monkey Island? Dude, like I said, it's an old school point and click adventure game. It's funny. It's irreverent. It's old Lucasfilm or LucasArts. And it was back in the day, like when they, Grim Fandango and a bunch of other games they put out, that they were a big deal back in the day. And a lot of us were really hoping that when Disney ended up buying Lucasfilm, that they would kind of revive the Lucasfilm or the LucasArts brand, but instead they cratered it. And then they decided that they were going to, come back a little later, which we'll talk about here in a second. But here's what we know about Return to Monkey Island. All right. And this one. Return to Monkey Island is a new sequel coming from the original director. Saying here, designed as a follow-up to the first two games. Sorry, I was wrong. It was A Secret of Monkey Island, not Escape. Those are other ones, I think. The Secret of Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2 LeChuck's Revenge. The new game is being published by Devolver Digital in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. Here's the thing with that, though. Devolver Digital is I love Devolver Digital. They put out very odd, avant-garde, niche titles, and they really play into like some of the crazier shit, zanier things out there. And you never know what you're going to get with a Devolver Digital game. And that's one of the beautiful things about it. As far as like kind of indie stuff goes, I mean, they're probably as close to like a mini major as you can get, I would feel. But working with Lucasfilm Games, which again, that's a big deal. And that's going to be pretty freaking cool. So it says here, it also brings back the original co-writer Dave Grossman and LucasArts composer Michael Land, Michael McConnell, and Clint Bajakian. Fellow co-creator Tim Schafer, who runs Microsoft's Double Fine, does not return. Oh well, oh no, nothing of value is lost. Absolutely fuck Tim Schafer until the end of time. He can suck my dick, flat out. On Twitter, Gilbert said that his terrible Toy Box development studio has been working on the game for 2 years in complete secrecy. Crazy. Going on to say here that we don't have any more information on the game other than what was included in the short teaser, but we do have a 2013 blog post from Gilbert in which he laid out his ideas for the new game in the series. At that time, he said he'd wanted to be a retro game that harkened back to Monkey Island 1 and 2 and would specifically ignore the events of every game in the series after the second. And given that his game follows LeChuck's Revenge, it seems he may have gotten his wish. And again, this is a big deal for a lot of old school. It's not to say that the other Monkey Island games weren't good. They were fun, but they didn't have that vibe. They didn't have that feel to it, right? Like Benson here brings up, do you remember Dragon's Lair by Don Bluth? 100%, dude. Never mind Space Ace, right? Love those games as a kid. And I know Netflix is doing one with Ryan Reynolds, so that should be interesting. But it'd be like Don Bluth not being involved in a Dragon's Lair game. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't feel right. Now going on here, it says his other ideas at the time included making it a hardcore adventure game with no tutorials, hint systems, pansy-ass puzzles, or catering to mass market or modernizing. So basically a Souls game. If you think about it, it's true. Souls are now very popular for that. On top of that, he wanted to do retro art, but powered by modern hardware to help the team do what LucasArts couldn't do in the 90s, a full-on inventory, that's a thing, a physical release, dialogue puzzles, and no verbs used for commands. He also says he'd like to rebuild the original's Scum engine, among other points. That last thing there, for me, that last thing there about rebuilding the Scum engine is something that a lot of people are very, very, very hyped for, that a lot of people are really interested in, because that was my childhood. If I'm being honest with you guys, that was my childhood. And that is something that I'm very excited to see what they might do with that. Obviously, look, if it was up to me, if it was absolutely positively up to me, I would want to go back, but but there's a little bit more to this, right? Because what happened, and what's interesting about this announcement today is that 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, a little over a year ago, January 2021, Star Wars game. This is what popped up from IGN. Star Wars games to be branded under Lucasfilm Games banner, saying all Star Wars games will now be brought together under a single banner of Lucasfilm Games. So the reason why this is important, the reason why this is interesting, is it shows you that other properties contained within the LucasArts Star Wars Lucasfilm banner are potentially going to be up for being made. I know there's a new Indiana Jones game that is being worked on, and that will be very interesting to see what comes out of that. Again, I would love to see a high-res remaster of The Emperor's Tomb. I would love to see, again, a remake of Fate of Atlantis using an updated Scum engine, using updated graphics, things like that would be pretty fantastic. But not only that, but think about it. Like, you figure there's TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. There is the Star Wars Rebel Alliance games. There are, there's Shadows of the Empire. There's Dark Forces 2, Jedi Academy, a ton of games in these worlds that LucasArts had a hand in. And it would be fantastic to see this stuff not come out. And obviously, look, Grim Fandango, and Full Throttle, and I think The Dig, and like some of their other games could definitely be something that gets brought back out. And I'm really hoping that we end up getting some of this stuff here. Spherical Man, yeah, dude, I totally didn't even mention this, but I meant to. Fingers crossed for another Maniac Mansion, or at least maybe a remastered Maniac Mansion. That would be pretty freaking cool. But here's what I want to see, guys. This Lucasfilm's Games bullshit, fine. I'm cool with it, but this is what I want. This is what I want back. I want to see this logo pop up. I want to see this logo pop up. I want to see another, freaking Rogue Squadron game with this logo popping up. I want to see, Republic Commando with this logo popping up. Like, this is what I want to see. And I'm not the only one here. I'm not the only one. A lot of people out there want to see this kind of stuff make a comeback. And I think obviously at this point in time, maybe we'll get lucky. Reed here asks, will the High Republic type game ever come out? Well, probably, because that would be the one that, oh God, what's the name of the company? It was the one just recently. They had a trailer for it. I cannot think of it right now. It's a High Republic game done by the people who did Heavy Rain, and I am blanking on their name at this point in time. So I think it will definitely happen. Never mind the fact that there's also a rumored Star Wars High Republic animated show that is supposedly in development, coming to Disney Plus. And so that's really, really fascinating in and of itself here. Lord Slug here says the Jedi Knight series has been re-released on PS4, Xbox One. Yes, it has been. But I'm not talking a re-release. I'm talking a motherfucking remaster. I'm talking from the ground up, like they're doing with KOTOR. From the ground up. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay, it's Quantic Dream. Thank you, Taylor. Yeah, Quantic Dream is the company. And David Cage and all that crap, right? Thinking Cat here says, we need a third Mercenaries Playground of Destruction game as you still play the first one. Well, the first one is fantastic. The first one is amazing. The second one was like kind of shitty. I'll tell you this, guys, I was really disappointed in the second game. Maybe it was because Grand Theft Auto 4 had come out a few months beforehand. Maybe it was because, Saints Row 2 had also just come out. But Mercenaries, man, when that dropped, I was like, remember when they had the billboard ads in there for Righteous Kill with Al Pacino and De Niro? They were doing in-game marketing for this movie and it made no damn sense. And it was not that great of a game. But the first Mercenaries was, I believe, Pandemic's fantastic title. I think Pandemic was an amazing game studio. When they teamed up with BioWare, I thought that was great too. But then, of course, EA came in, bought them out, and outright destroyed. It destroyed all that stuff, right? It just absolutely just pissed me the fuck off, man. That they're like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna make BioWare shit, and then we're going to and then we're also going to go and take out Pandemic and beat it with a fucking shovel, man. That's just, yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. All right, real quick thing here. I want to, as a quick aside, because we're on the subject of Star Wars, I just want to I didn't get screenshots for this, but I totally saw this today. So here's something in regards to like possible animation stuff. So the Disney Television Animation News Twitter account, they are going off about what could be potentially renewed or canceled or whatever, or what could be new rumored projects. And what they're talking about here is from Lucasfilm Animations. They're saying Star Wars: The Lost Stars, an Untitled Darth Maul series, and Tales of a Jedi. So this is what they believe is rumored. Also rumored here is saying Star Wars: The High Republic, an Untitled Star Wars animated project scored by Kevin Kleiner. That was a recent thing that came up because Kevin Kleiner let that slip. And then another Star Wars project by Dwarf Animation. So obviously in this particular scenario, there's a lot going on. Disney Plus is really, really, really working to make Star Wars and animation go together hand in hand. I would hope that LucasArts would do something very similar with this. So it's going to be like, it can be big. And also, and I know that that Ubisoft is working on a Star Wars game that is using massive studios. The big issue with that right now is that the lead designer for that company just recently left, so we don't know what's going on. HBarts here says Ubisoft working on any game is a big worry. Completely disagree, actually. You know what? Here's the thing, man. Ubisoft titles might be a little bit buggy, but they are consistent. They are consistent in their release. They're consistent generally in their quality. They have a very large and devoted fan base, and they do consistently work on making the projects a little bit. They're making the projects more refined as time goes on. Rainbow Six Siege was a fucking mess when that game came out. It's been worked over pretty well. Ghost Recon Breakpoint was a bit of a mess when that came out. They reworked a bunch of it, made the game a lot more fun. I actually got it when it first came out, sunk a lot of time into it, kind of was iffy with it. And I started playing it again last year, and I played it on like the realistic mode and whatever else. And I thought it was a much better experience. So so here's the thing is Ubisoft is a good developer, and it's one not every time they get it right. I do think Watch Dogs Legion was shit, but Watch Dogs 2 was amazing. The first Watch Dogs was amazing. So there's a lot of crap there that's good and bad in the other. Anyway, why don't we quickly talk about Morbius for a hot second, right? Why don't we talk? I know, we're talking about Morbius again. Like, oh, Matt, you're always talking about Morbius. What's going on here? Why are you talking about Morbius? Well, a couple things happened with Morbius today. A couple of interesting little things, little tidbits popped up. And the thing I've noticed is that I feel like everyone is kind of like tossing this movie under a bus, right? And so what we found out is this is coming in today. Jared Leto was so committed to playing Morbius that he would use crutches and slowly limp to the bathroom. However, the pee breaks began taking so long that it was slowing down filming, so a compromise was made to let him use a wheelchair. All right, like what in the like look, dude, Jared Leto is flat out method. All right, he's flat out method. But come on, this is going way, way, way too effing far. But it is, of course, Ubisoft, and it is, of course, what they plan on doing. or not Ubisoft. Sorry, it's Sony. I read Ubisoft in the chat. But anyway, this interview or this piece of information comes in from an interview today over on Uprocks, where Mike Ryan, who's the senior entertainment writer, really was asking the hard questions to Daniel Espinosa. And I mean, the thing with this interview, it's a good interview, but what we learn out of it, outside of the P-break story, is kind of like how much Sony kind of fucked over Daniel Espinosa, right? And he had worked with them before. They did the movie Life in 2017. And then he also did Safe House. We talked about that as well before. And Mike Ryan kind of like unabashedly throws praise on Daniel Espinosa, maybe to get him to break and to kind of like give up more information. But this is what we find out here. So Mike Ryan asks, in Morbius, Michael Keaton is in the trailers, but then sorry. There's spoilers for the movie here. I should point that. Does anyone care? I totally forgot. There are spoilers in this. If you care, come back in like 5 minutes. If you don't care, let's keep going. In Morbius, Michael Keaton is in the trailers, but then in the movie, he doesn't show up until the post-credit. It does seem like some things were reworked. I'm wondering, after Spider-Man No Way Home, did you have to change Michael Keaton's role in this to match up the events of that movie? Is that what happened? Well, Daniel here says, it was more that when Spider-Man came out, they said, we know how this works and we have a visual concept of how to make this. But the idea of having different timelines was something that was, for me, introduced within the movie universe with Into the Spider-Verse. When we were talking about making the movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse had just come out and was a huge success. I told the guys, I said, this is super common amongst comic book readers. Now, here's the thing with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That is not actually true. When it came out, it was not a huge success. In fact, it kind of came and it kind of went. It was up against Aquaman, Mary Poppins, and Bumblebee. And all three of those, all four of those, with the exception of Aquaman, didn't really perform. I thought an animated Spider-Man movie would break the bank. I thought it would break the box office. I thought it would destroy everything. Turns out it didn't. It just simply didn't. It did win Best Animated Feature, but the movie wasn't a success until it was on streaming on Netflix a few months later when people started watching it and checking it out. I didn't even see it until it came out on home video on Netflix. So it's like, that's kind of the whole point, is like, you can't call it a success, but it was definitely something that has grown into a success. Going on, Mike Ryan asks, well, there were scenes of Michael Keaton in the trailer that aren't in the movie, so that's why I was wondering if some things had to be reworked to match No Way Home. He says, yeah, exactly. The first thing that happened was that we had Michael Keaton because we were planning on doing this, but when Spider-Man No Way Home came out, it said, well, this is how the visual effects are. And then the idea of having him just encountering him in that universe seemed too complicated. Then we needed to put it in the end. So it almost says to me that they were planning on having this be part of the MCU initially. Like that was kind of the whole point. I think he was trying to like put that in there. All right. But then Mike here goes on to say, okay, so you did have to cut some things to make it match up to No Way Home. And then Daniel here says, yes, because we have to match. I didn't know how the transportation would look like in that. So I'm assuming when he kind of zaps in, like you can find the post-credit scene on YouTube and it's terrible. So, don't waste your money, I guess. Going on to say here, Mike Ryan asks that the thing I wasn't clear on in the post-credit scene was when Vulture says, I think this is Spider-Man's fault. We should team up and fight him. How does Morbius know who Spider-Man is? Also, the movie establishes that Morbius is a good man who got too ambitious and created the serum, and some bad things happened. But at his heart, he's not a bad person. Why would Morbius be interested in teaming up with this criminal? So Daniel here says, well, Vulture is not a criminal in that universe just yet, which is true. So that's an interesting little angle. I'll be fair. But then he goes on to ask, why would Morbius be interested in what Vulture has to say in the first place? And Daniel here says, exactly. I think it's a meeting of those because in this world, Spider-Man exists. In the different Marvel timelines, you have a Spider-Man. It's a totem. In the Marvel universe, what you say is that you have to have a Spider-Man in each universe for it to function. He's one of the fundamental beings. Now, that's how it is in the comic books. I mean, like, that's the thing that's what I have to ask the question on because I haven't seen the movie yet. Who the fuck is this for? Right? Like, who the fuck is this for? Because is it trying to function as its own thing? Is it trying to function as part of a larger universe? What are they trying to get to? I mean, obviously those questions will be asked down the road. And then it does go on here to say, okay, but there's nothing in the movie that establishes that Morbius has any beef with Spider-Man whatsoever. The Denier says, oh, exactly. I think that's more of one of those scenes that are made that when you have scenes before in a movie that comes along, that will explain the reposition. So obviously what they're saying here is they don't know what they wanted. I think, or they had an idea and then No Way Home came in and fucked it all up. I don't know how that would happen. These movies are not made in a bubble. They're not made over a weekend. They are developed for years and then they are put together and then they come out and they have time to edit and reshoot and make sure that they have everything, all their ducks in a row. I don't quite understand that, to be perfectly honest with you. There's another tidbit in the article where they do talk about something that I thought was fascinating, and that is that it was actually Sony's idea to make it separate universes, that the Sony's Spider-Man universe, whatever the hell it is now, that was supposed to be, that was Sony's idea. Sony didn't want to tie it to Marvel. We all thought Marvel was basically telling Amy Pascal, fuck off, right? Like Feige was like, no, like we're friends, but you're not going to get what you want. But in this particular case, I'm wondering if they looked at the profit margin that they had for Venom and Venom 2, and those like, well, those aren't connected to this. And then Morbius isn't connected to this. We might as well all make it its own separate universe. We'll keep using the Spider-Man name. We'll keep using the Spider-Man connection. We'll keep using it as a totem, as a way to bring people in to kind of fool them, which is why, I have said, I think the marketing for this movie was definitely misleading. As we found out, Sony had absolutely positively lied in the marketing by adding Spider-Man 3 in there, by making people think that it was connected, by overshowing Michael Keaton in the teaser and then in the trailers, making him feel like a larger part of the movie than he was. In fact, completely showing that everything in that we saw in those trailers wasn't even legit. Like as far as like the trailers were an unreliable narrator. They lie by omission. It's one of those scenarios where you're like, God fucking damn it, Sony, what are you doing? But then to go as far as to say, yeah, and then now they want it in their own universe. It's like, look, if they were trying to make it part of the same universe and this is how they were trying to make a workaround, it's almost more understandable, right? It's almost more understandable in that regard because like, okay, their hands are tied. This is what they're trying to do. Okay. And as a result of them being kind of like, like ham-fisted, or hamstrung, I think is the term, by Marvel. Okay, now they're trying to work around it and play in the margins. I can understand that. But if they willfully put themselves in the margins and then they play without an established set of rules, it's really weird. And here's the thing with that too. And I didn't get the screenshots for this, but I wish I would have. When just today I was reading an interview with one of the Russos. I think it was Joe Russo, and he was talking about how Marvel plans for these films. Okay. And what he was saying was that Marvel doesn't plan, that Marvel actually doesn't have a story structure planned out. Because if a movie tanks or something backfires or something doesn't work, they have to repurpose, they have to restructure, they have to figure it out. What they have is they have a tacit idea of the story they want to tell. They have big ideas that they want to get to, stories that they would like to get to at some point in time, stories that they want to figure out how to get to. And they don't write in the Easter eggs all the time, either the flashbacks or the flash forwards that are referenced. All those little hints oftentimes are not written into the script. They're actually added either well before or well after. Right? Most of the time in post-production, they'll find ways to add them in order to then see where their path is and start to clear a way to get to it. Now, the reason why this is significant, over, let's say, the DCEU or what Sony's doing, is that when there might be a misstep in the MCU, when there might be a slip up, there might be a problem, instead of running back to the drawing board, which is what both of those other companies like to do, Marvel pivots. Feige will look at it, look at the big picture, look to see where they're going or what they want to do, and pivot to get around that, to get to that next step. That is what they do. And that is why it's interesting. That is why, in my opinion, it works as well as it does, because they don't run away in the face of fear. They sit there and they hold their own and they just keep sallying forth and they make their way through. Whereas Sony does not do that. And then they put out crap like Morbius. And people are like, don't care, spoil the fucking movie for me. Who knows? Maybe down the road they'll retroactively figure out a way to make it a better movie. I don't know. But here's something that I thought was pretty sad. And I like Tyrese, but I felt really bad about this. So Tyrese Gibson fell for a fake Martin Scorsese quote that was praising the film as the truest height of cinema. This is real, by the way, guys. This is real. Somebody made a meme, and Tyrese reposted it on his Insta and says, I was aghast to find out that it was based on, quoting Scorsese here, supposedly, allegedly, saying, I was aghast to find out that it was based on a comic book. This is the truest height of cinema, and even I cannot top it. A wise man admits when he is wrong, and I was wrong. I apologize to all comic book movies. That's the meme. Tyrese here says, wow, 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 wow. I can't believe what just happened. Whoa. Cheers and hats off to you, Daniel Espinosa. This is so amazing, King. This is the King of Kings of cinema, Martin Scorsese. This is huge. Guys, I mean, man, I feel so bad, man. I like Tyrese. I do. I don't want to mock him. You know what? I think he wanted to win. I think he wanted to win outside of everything involving the whole thing with the Fast and the Furious and whatnot. We're not getting a spin-off with him and Luda, which apparently was a thing on the table for a while. But man, this is pretty sad. I feel pretty bad for him on this one. I don't want to mock him for it. It's you get hyped, man. The internet lies, man. People go on the internet and they tell lies all the time. That, of course, is what happened with this. But at the end of the day, when talking about Morbius and talking about all of this stuff, everything going on with it, what we realize, what we know, is that Sony is not Marvel, nor is it DC. Like they have, I guess you could call it a plan, but their plan is to, I think, trail what Marvel is doing and then react to it. They're not trying to be where the puck is. They're just following the puck. And the thing is, if they just worked with Marvel, which is easier said than done because you've got, mega corporation versus mega corporation and there are profits to be made. But this is a scenario where quite literally everyone can win if they work together. Sure, is it Sony more so than Marvel? Absolutely. But you know what? Hey, you grease a little bit of wheels. You maybe give Tom Rothman a little bit of an olive oil handy, and then maybe he's willing to work with them and able to share a couple stuff here and there. And as a result of that, they're able to tell better stories because they have access to more characters and they can get some of these runs going. Morbius and Blade. That's what people want. That's what people want. And if they're smart, they'll do it. But looking at this whole movie and how it's fallen apart in the couple years since we first saw the first teaser for it, my God, you guys. Sony just needs to sell, and then all those characters go back to Marvel. And I think at the end of the day, that's the best option. But then again, you guys might think differently, and I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. All right, so why don't we talk about Zack Snyder? Because this is something I know we don't talk about him enough, right? This is something I was getting hit up by today. People were messaging me about this. They were asking me my thoughts on this. They were asking me what's going on. Apparently, you guys. There's a whole scenario going on right now with Mr. Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers. Is Zack being followed by Warner Brothers? Turns out that after we talked about these flash leaks that came out yesterday, right? That was a big one, which some people have said are kind of accurate. Others have tried downplaying a little bit, This pops up today where apparently Zack Snyder is being followed by the official Warner Brothers account. Okay. And so apparently is Ray Fisher. Now I looked into this. It's accurate. The Warner Brothers account only follows 200 some people, and both Zack Snyder and Ray Fisher are on there. And so that's interesting considering Ray Fisher's past with the studio. That is definitely something, right? That is definitely interesting. But, going even further, Warner Brothers Pictures is now also following Zack Snyder, but I can honestly tell you that they're not following Ray Fisher because I went and I looked it up. So this is something that a lot of people have been talking about this. A lot of people have been trying to figure out what the hell is going on. They've been asking the questions. Does this mean that the Snyderverse is restored? Does this mean that it's all coming back? I mean, obviously, as we get into the situation involving Zach and involving the merger and what's going to happen after the first look deal with Netflix expires next year, what's going to be going on, right? Like, what's going to be happening? Well, the thing is, guys, is we literally have no freaking idea. But if you believe something else that's going on today, if you look at this as being realistic, then we might have an interesting concept of what's going on. And I don't quite know what to make of it. So we're going to go through this together. And it's kind of a weird thing. But apparently, the Snyder cult is real? I don't know. This is a Twitter account that has been active for a couple days, and they've been posting some very interesting and very cryptic stuff. One of the things they posted was this little preview. This is before, I think this is like around or before April Fool's Day.
Behind you, it will stumble, it will fall, but in time, they will join you in the sun count. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
Yeah,
In
so
time.
this has got to be a troll. All right, like this has got to be an absolute fucking troll. I mean, look at this here. You know, you've got obviously the Jesus pose, and that gets a lot of criticism and whatnot, you know. And then you've got the superimposed image of Zack Snyder as Jesus. And it's a very odd thing. Now, Rodney here says it's a total ripoff of Riddler, which we'll take a look at. And it's very peculiar in regards to this because, you know, not only do they have that first image, they have this one too. They are very much trying to play this angle. Now, it is entirely possible. It is entirely possible that what they're doing is ripping off the Riddler as a way to, you know, let's say, you know, I guess you could say like look into this stuff or whatever, you know, however you want to play it, right? They are trying to kind of play up that ARG style. They're trying to play up all that kind of stuff. We don't know. We have no idea what they're really planning on doing because it's all kind of absolutely fucking crazy. But to an extent, what I'm curious about is what does it all mean, right? Like, what does it all mean? So, it's, you know, we go into the Twitter account here. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Reed here says, is it April Fool's? I don't know. Because it started before April Fool's, it had a little bit on April Fool's, and now it's after April Fool's, and they're still doing this. So, kind of a weird thing. Benson here says, it's not me, but then goes on to make the accusation. Zod Rider, Integrity, or Enosh probably. I disagree. I do. I don't think it's them. But what we got here is, they put this together, right? So they took the Stone Quarry logo, turned it red, and are trying to, rebrand it as the Snyder Cult, which is just a very weird thing, but okay. And obviously hashtag Restore Snyderverse. Okay, fine. This is their Twitter account, run by a guy named Dr. Shilchill. Right? That's kind of weird. Dr. Shilchill. Okay, fine. But just before, this is March 30th. So a couple days before April 1st here, this is when Merck was going back and forth with Jeffrey Wright when he was going after Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz and anyone connected with the Batman. They were like hashtag unfollow Merck, saying here, although Merck has been a driving force in the movement, they have been toxic with their narrative and with how they use their platform to spread misinformation. The Snyder Cult does not condone their actions, claims, and will not accept them as representation for our legion. As always, accountability is greater than entertainment. Stay real, stay grounded, keep fighting for what's right. So if they want to go to war with Mercury, I will not complain on that front in any conceivable fucking fashion. I will not argue against that at all. Mercury sucks. Geralt sucks. Those guys are douches. I'm fine with them going to war with them. This shit's just fucking weird. All right. This shit is just really, really, really weird when you start kind of thinking about it because you're like, what the hell is going on? Well, I mean, then they go on to say this here, breaking the narrative, hashtag the Batman is a cinematic achievement by a great filmmaker that we are genuinely excited for more of. And even more excited for the fans that wanted it more than us, who may not have liked what Ben Affleck brought to the table. So, all right, this is interesting. You know, I mean, they're coming out there and they're, hey, like, you know, hey guys, this is good. And clearly he's playing with the hot toy there or whatever, or just the toy. And, you know, I mean, you know, hey, who do we know that's got a lot of Batman toys? I don't know. All right, I'm making a joke on that one, but it goes a little bit weirder. All right, it goes a little bit weirder because this video is on their YouTube page, and we're gonna watch the whole thing. It's really weird, but I want you guys to get just to see like what you think of this.
Gather, it's story time. We recognize that we have been creating some buzz the past few days, and there has been some speculation as to who we are. I can't urge this enough. Who we are matters not. Revealing our identities would only disappoint. In the words of Bane from the trilogy of Knights of Dark, no one cared who I was until I put on a mask. And that's the point. This identity that has presumably consumed me has gained attention. Poetically, this identity was composed by that which ails me. Toxicity, a word that is often thrown around in every which direction, but commonly horribly misused. Our purpose for assembling and entering this world of cyber conversation is merely to contribute to what we acknowledge as the beam of light enduring and shining through the clouds on the darkest of days. With everything going on in the world, it's honestly disgusting to see the way we are to one another when it comes to the things that we love and enjoy. In particular, I am a huge fan of Zack Snyder and his films. His DC story arc is something that made me, as an avid comic book reader, very happy. Now, I acknowledge that my opinion is subjective, but I believe what he started was leading to something truly incredible, and each film was just a chapter in an epic book. It's pretty common for a book's story to not add up if you quit 3 chapters in. I want to finish what I think is a really good book. Now, I'm not suggesting that people who don't like his movies may have a change of heart if his story is completed. I'm just saying that when he was greenlit for BVS, he believed he would be able to tell his whole story, so he delivered his films in a way that leaves you guessing and anticipating what was to come. It's okay to not like his movies. It's okay for me to not like movies that you enjoy. It's okay for someone to like all movies, as I most commonly do, especially when it comes to DC and Marvel. I personally loved Peacemaker. I thought it was entertaining and very well done. I loved Matt Reeves' The Batman, but also think that Ben Affleck's Batman is gold. I'm very excited for The Flash. Andy Muschietti is a great filmmaker, and I'm excited to see the direction he took with his film. Anyone who thinks this film can erase a character is wrong. Anyone who thinks it can end the Snyderverse is wrong. If you disagree, educate yourself on the definition of multiverse and read up on how it has been used in comics. And guess what? It's also okay to be wrong. Just admit it and embrace what comes afterwards. Keeping an open mind can never hurt. A closed mind can never grow. A mind that doesn't grow simply stays small. Going after those who were wrong is also not okay either. This is where things begin to drive me mad. I do not advocate any of the bullies who typically target people that love Zack's work. But when they are wrong, as they historically have been thus far, and when they're brave enough to admit they were wrong, we need to respect that, or we are proving to be the toxic fandom that they always claim we are. Why anyone in the fandom ever wastes their time letting these bullies get to them, I don't understand. Their subjective opinions about that which you love is but a drop of rain on a raging fire. We need to refocus and reorganize. This fandom is truly amazing. It is the beam of light I spoke of earlier. We have achieved wonders. and truly believe we have yet to scratch the surface of what's possible. We can work together. Despite other things we may disagree on, we have a shared love for the Snyderverse, and we keep it alive. And guess what? These bullies and so-called anti-Snyderverse warriors, they keep it alive just the same by showing it's something worth discussing. So despite what they may say, their actions are speaking loud and clear. I sincerely thank everyone who keeps the discussion alive, but I urge my fellow Snyderverse loyalists to take a step back. Stay away from social media for a day or however long you need to get your head where it needs to be. If we come together and focus on nothing but the positives, then only the positives will remain. I am Dr. Shill Chill. Thank you for listening. The cult is small in numbers, but we are growing and we are coming for our great prize.
All right. So, I mean, like, that's fucking weird. But to be fair, I respect the message. I think the branding is stupid. I think the playing up the cult angle is dumb. But I respect the message. Okay. I get it. What he wants to do is he wants to make sure that, you know, like they fight toxicity, that they campaign for what they want, that they're not dicks about it. Cool beans. And that's, hey, look, that's great. And that might be one of the reasons why they're going after Merc. Command unit here for 6 shekels. Thanks, buddy. Says ISIS are not this edgy. Oof. Now, is this an anti Mad Max meme? Is this Mad Max 2.0? Kind of a little bit, right? There's some of the dialogue Max would say, some of the things Max says and how he says them, I feel are a little like represented here, a little replicated here. And then, obviously being in the mask and whatever. Now, the mask he's using, this just is like $1 mask you get from like a Halloween thing, right? It's a really cheap mask. And then a Sharpie just like, writing on it, everything else. Looks a little bit kind of cringe. Now, like I said before, they were calling out Merc, and apparently Merc responded with some video of his own, which I'll play here because this is what was being told to check this out.
You chose the wrong side.
So he said this with hashtag he said it with hashtag
Right.
Hold on here. Unfollow Merc. And so this is his response to that, right? It's very, you chose the wrong side. Everything is very odd. The whole thing is very weird. I have no fucking idea what's going on with this, but it does, guys, it does get, and I'm not kidding you on this one, fucking weirder, because the cult put out a tape, some kind of indoctrination thing. I don't know. Check this out. What in the fuck was that shit? I mean, I agree with Murdoch. It's kind of entertaining. I mean, it wasn't horribly made. But the thing is though, like they put that out on Twitter. They haven't put it out on their YouTube page. I would assume there's like way more of these that are going to come. I don't quite know yet what's going on. This is some weird ass shit. Maverick here says, wow, that was cringy AF. That's true. Spherical Man here says $100 says this is Snyder taking advantage of the cultists. I don't think so, man. This is weird, but they do have, by the way, I was able to find another piece of another video clip that is going to show us a little bit more about this, right? That's going to give us, I think, a little bit of their plan, whatever it might be. And, yeah, Zachary here says, what did I just watch? I don't quite know, man. But Resident here says, RJ says, but if this guy can be the one to take down Mercury and Geralt, sign me up, call them out, destroy them, long live the Snyder cult. There you go. There you go. Darkness Under the Wind says, sooner or later, we are going to start hearing from that Snyder cultists rob stores or banks just to make a statement. I don't know. I don't know. Adam Rodriguez here says, why would Zaslav support this, man? Fuck, I don't know, man. I don't think so. But speaking of Zaslav, that's kind of the whole point. That's kind of the whole situation. So here's another video that I found. This is more of just a talking to the camera, vloggy sort of thing. But just listen to what this guy says. This is their plan for next week.
Dr. Chill speaking on behalf of the Snyder cult. But more importantly, speaking on behalf of the entire Snyderverse. The day is finally upon us. A day that we have been waiting on for what feels like so long. The Discovery and Warner Brothers merger draws to a close. And this can be, and should be, a big day for us and the movement. We need to all come together and trend like we have never trended before. Two things should take precedence on this day. Number one, hashtag release the Ayer cut. Why this hasn't happened yet, I have no idea. It's literally a joke. And of course, restore the Snyderverse, make the Batfleck movie, Man of Steel 2, anything you want. It all works toward the same idea and the same goal. Now the second thing, and it's a bit of a touchy subject, but as usual, I'll be the bigger man. Do not let these internet trolls and bullies get in the way of you working towards the goal. Do not mind their comments on any Snyder-related posts. Don't feel like you need to defend Snyder or his films. We've been getting W since 2019. It didn't stop us then. It won't stop us now. It never will. Actually, I believe if you look at my most recent post, my comment section is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. They are just fiending for me to get on there and annihilate them, which I could. But there's nothing in that. For me, for you, the rest of the Snyderverse. It's just a negative. And we're all about the positive. See you Monday. Come ready to trend. For you, for me, for the entire Snyderverse. But more importantly, for Zack Snyder.
Holy shit. What is that? You know, Robin here says, I get the Sons of Kojima vibe on this one. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Definitely get like this kind of stuff. I was muted for a hot second. I'm back now. Okay, so that was a lot to unpack, right? This whole scenario has been a lot to unpack. What we have here is a guy who I feel is trying to not only rip off the Riddler, he's trying to rip off Doomcock, he's trying to rip off Mad Max. He's trying to create almost what feels like a Marble Hornet style ARG type scenario. That's maybe going a little bit too, deep into the reeds on that one. But when you really start to think about how he's trying to create this entire branding, he's taken the Stone Quarry logo, removed the Stone Quarry, put the Snyder cult, and is trying to argue that a cult is a good thing. It's crazy. Now, RJ here says, I'm going to try to get an interview with this guy. Yeah, but you should, but have it out here on this channel. And then just go stream it to yours. I don't know. Now the Watcher. Oh, funny thing is, people ask, where's the Watcher? The Watcher pops up. Says, this guy sounds like the Knights of Melvin, the guy hopping in for a new bandwagon. See, yeah, that's kind of the thing with that, right? Like, I got a bit of the Knights of Melvin vibe off of that guy. And that to me is kind of fucking funny because, like, that it does feel a little bit like Knights of Melvin. It does feel like a bit of a parody on that particular front, but it's not. It probably, to be fair, it probably absolutely isn't. I mean, I've dedicated like 30 minutes to talking about it, but it's just weird. It's absolutely weird. I'm very curious what you guys have to say about this. I'm kind of curious what you guys are thinking about with this one, because I mean, like, this is a bit of, a bit of kayfabe, right? Like, it feels like it's a bit of kayfabe. So, guy really is trying to make this, to sell this narrative, but it's like, look, he's not getting a lot of support. All right. He's not getting a lot of support. That video is not getting a lot of love on YouTube. He's not getting a lot of, he's getting some retweets here and there, but he hasn't caught the attention of the Snyder fan. I guess maybe until now, because, Merc having put out that little video, they might catch the attention to that. That might be what they want. It might be this whole game, might be this whole back and forth thing. I don't freaking know. All I know is that this is weird, and I'm kind of here for it, to be honest with you. I'll tell you this, right? As much as I hate talking about all the shit with like Zack Snyder and all the shit with all the other stuff, I mean, like, I gotta say, at least generally speaking, this is somewhat interesting. This is somewhat interesting. A lot of the stuff gets boring. We talk in circles, things like that. This is at least fascinating. We'll have to see. Now, Benson here says it sounds like integrity. I mean, I've heard integrity talk, and it doesn't sound like integrity. It sounds like someone who's really trying to get, like, I don't want to say to like capture the ire of the fan base. He's trying to you could say maybe trying to capture the hearts, right? In that 2-minute clip there, he's talking about how, like, the merger is next week. This is the moment we've been waiting for, which is really funny because the Snyder Cut was talked about before the last merger, and everyone was waiting for the last merger, which actually ultimately 2 years later did result in the Snyder Cut getting announced, but whatever. And so, he's like, okay, the merger, Discovery, that's been a big thing. A lot of the crazies have been very much pushing that. A lot of the fandom have been pushing that. They think that David Zaslav is going to restore the Snyderverse. They say all this stuff is going to happen. I don't know. With Zach being followed by Warner Brother Pictures, or by Warner Brothers, and them following Ray Fisher, despite everything else that's going on, with those leaks coming out, talking about maybe that Affleck isn't dead. We've been hearing reports about that now for a while. I've said, I don't know what's happening. I have my theories on it. I have my opinions, obviously, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to be happening. I don't know where things are going to be going, but what I do know is that things are interesting. And when things get interesting, then it becomes fun to kind of speculate and talk about, a little bit, a wee bit. We'll have to wait and see on this one. I am just, I'm just waiting. Now, RJ, really quick, put out a tweet here, says, give this tweet a like and a retweet. Let's see if he responds. RJ is trying to get his attention now. So that would be okay. Rational here says, can't wait for this guy to go at it with Casey Walsh. Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see on that one, what Casey has to say about this. But look, if this guy, here's the Gary B, nothing is going to happen. Yeah, I agree with you, Gary, that nothing is going to happen for the most part, but it's fun to kind of like, I mean, there's stuff feels like it's kind of more fluid than before. I still don't believe it's going to happen. If it happens though, I'll admit I'm wrong. I've been open about that, but it's one of those things where it's like, there's some weird shit going on here. So you kind of, you kind of get a little bit of the tingly feeling about it. If I'm being honest, you're like, all right, this is interesting, but maybe also Warner Brothers and Zack have another project. Maybe they're going to be doing a remaster of Watchmen because, you know, who knows? Maybe Sucker Punch is going to be getting a remaster or re-release. Who knows? I mean, we don't know what is, maybe it's Legends of the Guardians. Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Legend of the Guardians. It's a fucking DreamWorks movie, right? The Owl movie and shit, right? What if that one is going to get a remaster because that's coming up on 13 or 12 years? I don't know. There could be a whole number of reasons why they're following Zack Snyder. The Ray Fisher one is interesting to me, but it's also possible that they were just reaching out through their corporate account to talk to Ray and they just didn't end up unfollowing each other. That feels more like Occam's razor approach to it, if I'm being honest with you. But at the same time, who knows? Who knows? Anything is possible. Anything can happen. But it should be fun. Here we go. Momoon here says, we're all going to get older. That's what's going to happen. You know what, man? That's actually pretty fair. That's actually pretty fair. I'll give you credit on that one there. Whelp person here says, I saw a bunch of Snyder fans tell this weirdo to screw off and call this guy out for his weird behavior. The dude is a certified incel. LOL, Jarbo, RJ, you're a wild one to interview this guy. But the thing is, well, again, what I'm talking about with that though is like, look, he might be a weird certified incel, but it's interesting to kind of see where his mindset is. Not that I want to legitimize it, but I'm curious to know more. Whereas someone like Mercury and someone like Geralt, I think are just scums of the earth. So, you know, and they continuously, I mean, Geralt sucks, but like Mercury's a real piece of shit. And they continuously like defame and attack people and all that crap. And so they're not interesting. They're boring because it's the same nonsense. This could be something interesting. We'll have to really wait to see on that. Geeks are asking, is Warner Brothers following Ray on Instagram? Fuck if I know, man. I'm barely on Insta. I'm on TikTok these days, a hell of a lot more than that. But H-Bart's here says, if that happens, I'm going to have a heart attack. Yep. But anyway, guys, on that note, we are getting to the end of the show tonight. I did see that Command Unit dropped a $5 super chat asking to react to You Won't Believe What's Coming by Warhammer. Got that up right here. We will take a quick look at that, maybe chat for a couple more minutes and then wind it down. We are at 109 people, you guys. Thank you very much. Right now, one of the highest viewed late night movie talk shows on the web. You're not going to get anything better than Hollywood After Dark, folks. It's just a reality. At this point, the numbers are growing every single day. More people are coming in to watch the VODs, to watch the clips. Subscribers are going up. Channel members are going up. Patrons are going up. You guys are massively supportive, and I really appreciate that. This is the place to be. Because it's weird, it's wild, it's what the fuck, it's Hollywood After Dark. So let's check this bad boy trailer out for a second.
All right, we're back.
What the fuck?
Did we miss anything important?
Oh, isn't this like the dwarf thing, right? Oh, was that their April Fool's joke? Oh, okay, I see. That's pretty cool. I remember there's a game with those guys, right? Anyway, it's Warhammer. Yeah. Spherical Maynard says, HWAD, it's hip, it's wow, it's now and how. There you go, man. Thank you. Benson here for £2, man. Thank you. It says, just when we thought we could move on. Yeah, no shit, right? I mean, look, I'm not going to be giving it like nightly attention. This literally just popped up and I'm all like, what in the ever-loving fuck is going on, man? Like this is kind of weird. This is kind of weird. Yeah, it is April Fool's, I think, on that one. But there was a game I thought where you could play like as dwarves. I thought that was a game, like a 4-player co-op mining game or something like that. Not Minecraft, obviously, but something along those lines. Anyway, guys, it's been a fun night. Got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of coverage tonight, and I appreciate everyone being here. If you guys remember, like the video, come on, like the stream, subscribe if you're new. We had over 100 people watching tonight, which is always fantastic. And I think as we hit the hour and 42-minute mark, it is time for me to bid you all adieu. I will be back on tomorrow night for another episode. Hopefully feeling better. I'm just a little under the weather today. Just, you know how it is. And I'll see you all. Have yourself a great night. And remember, folks, movies, watch them, love them, be them.